Hey guys, it's John, small time bookseller. Hope you're here for video. That's what I am here for. And we're going to get to it in just a minute. This video is going to be for May 1st through the 31st. And once again, I'm going to do it like I've done the last few, where I kind of just gloss over the today it's going to be the under 20 crowd. And I'm going to focus in on everything that's sold for $20 and above. And I'll keep doing that until I get caught up. And then hopefully when I get caught up, we'll just be doing a week at a time kind of stuff. So I did hit the Goodwill bins yesterday. Today's Sunday, so yesterday we hit the Goodwill bins. I picked up some pretty good stuff and hitting the other thrift stores here and there throughout the week. So coming up Thursday, you'll have another what I got kind of a haul video. So be looking forward to that. Hope that you enjoy seeing those as well. I don't know, I kind of like doing those, something different. Anyhow, so yeah, that's pretty much what this channel is. If you're new here, I just do videos about what I sold on eBay. And a lot of that's books, and it's more and more increasingly not books, but they're mostly still books. And I don't do any garage sale videos or yard sale videos. I don't do any, the GoPros at the Goodwill bins, looking at my hands, disclosing a large number of hair ends, clean cut by the scissors of the barber. They all appear to be adhesive, and there is a distinct odor of lime cream. Yes, that is what my hands typically smell like. Lime cream. All right, so you ready for all the goodness here? You ready? All right, so like I said, we're gonna just kind of go quickly through the under 20 crowd and get the kids out of the room. Let them go plug in. They got the light bright in the next room over there. That'll entertain them for a while. But once we get the youth out of the way, then we'll hit the adult section, the over 20 crowd. And so this is, you can pause on these if you want to look at them a little more closely. Feel free to ask any questions. Just go ahead and interrupt. Don't worry about it. We're all friends here. So just raise your hand if you want to, but I'll, I can happily stop and answer questions as we go. All right. So in that under 20 crowd, there's one that I wanted to focus on. So I'll do that first and foremost. It's just this one. It's a first edition, first printing of Lord Fowlsbane by Stephen R. Donaldson. It did sell for $15. So I thought that one was worth pointing out just because it was a book club edition. So book club edition, first printing of Lord Fowlsbane, $15. So it's something that you might see that one around. So I don't know, I just felt like I should make mention of that one. Other than that, we had a couple of history books, as you can see here, one on Hitler, one on New England, 3 different hobby titles, some fabric art, Stitcher's color guide, manga art. Then I had 4 different media, CDs and a sewing DVD. And then I had 1 book on music, and another nonfiction, just kind of a book. And we had 3 religious items. 2 of them were books and 1 was a CD. And 5 vintage books. So ranging from the 60s, 40s, 70s, that kind of era. So yeah. So all that stuff was between $6 up to $18, $18.50 it looks like. So now we're starting in with the 20 and above, and we're gonna just jump right into it. Are you ready? All right. So the first one we had is Drilling Mud and Cement Slurry Rheology Manual by the French Oil and Gas Industry. If you looked up esoteric in the dictionary, that's pretty, you're getting pretty niche right there. If you're talking about Drilling Mud and Cement Slurry Rheology Manual, put out by the French Oil and Gas Industry. And if you find that at the Goodwill bins for 33 cents, you can now say, you know what? Somebody might actually want that. Yeah, there's a lot of people. You know what? There are a lot of people in the world, if you hadn't noticed. And a pretty good sized portion of those people have access to the internet, and they can get on eBay when they need something that they can't find down at the local store. So, including drilling mud and cement slurry rheology by the French oil and gas industry. So, just so you know. All right, then, now this one seems like this is much more likely to sell kind of a thing. This was an Eddie George jersey. It's large size when he was with the Titans, and that sold for $20. And then a Marine Electrical Equipment and Practice by McGeorge, sold for $20 as well. First over 20 religious sale, we have a Bible, Thomas Nelson Bible. This is a red leather Bible, sold for $20. And then a hat, the Hard Rock Cafe in Memphis hat, sold for $20 as well. My first Spanish book of the day, I pick them up. I sell a lot of books that are in Spanish, so don't shy away from those. Los Indios de Mexico from 1968, sold for $20. And then we had The Human Understanding, Studies in the Philosophy of David Hume, sold for $22.50. Then a camp yearbook. This is called Camp Longhorn from 1965. This one, I believe, I'm trying to remember. I've came across a whole bunch of, I think it was Camp Longhorn ones from the 60s and a lot of different years. And I've sold a few of those. So people attended these camps when they were kids or thinking back to that time, and they have long since lost the yearbooks. And so, you know, camp yearbooks as well as high school and college yearbooks do sell. They take a while, but I sold 2 college yearbooks in the same day a couple weeks ago, which was kind of weird. And then older ones, newer ones, you know, people lose those things and they sometimes want them back. So, pick up yearbooks when you see them. The next one was Clear the Bridge, The War Patrols of the USS Tang, sold for $25. And then we had the Corde Avesta, Prayers in Roman Script with English Translation for $25. I don't know if that's related to Zoroastrian religion, Zoroastrianism. I found this one the same kind of a pile as the Zoroastrian books that I was talking about in the last video. But this is the Corde Avesta. So anything that's religious or just looks spiritual. When I saw this, I had no idea what it was. I didn't know if it was related to yoga or some other religion or something. But it was an odd title, strange enough to look up and see that there are maybe not this exact one, but similar things that are selling. So especially when it's 33 cents, I'm going to take a chance on something like that. And then we had a Heroes in Gray Glory, Jefferson Davis chapter, Daughters of the Confederacy book, sold for $25. Moving on. Oh, here's a Zoroastrian book. So another one like I talked about in the last video. $25, Zoroastrians, their religious beliefs and practices. And then this is a one that I just found this one, and I think I talked about it in a haul video. I don't know if it was the last haul or the one before that. But the Jurassic Park Lost World leather-bound book. So this one's over $26. I think the one that I picked up recently sold for $35, $40, $35, I think. I can't remember. So that thing sells. And it doesn't have a barcode on it. So you'll find this one like I did in a regular Goodwill for, the regular $2.99 or whatever they sell hardbacks for their price. Then I sold 2 mystery comics, Digest 16 and 17. Sold for $27. I got these at the little thrift store in West Columbia that was shutting down, and she was kind of just getting rid of everything. Then, get this. Okay, a bag of guinea hen feathers. A 1/4 pound of guinea hen feathers. A 1/4 pound of feathers is quite a bit. Feathers don't weigh a whole lot. So $28 for that. So that was, again, a Goodwill bins find. And when you're paying by the pound at the Goodwill bins, so pennies, literally pennies, I'm sure, the cost. And it sold for $28. And then we had a DVD, Sewing with Nancy Quilting Sew Patterns. $30 on that one. Most of the Sewing with Nancy DVDs don't sell in that range. They're more in the $10 to $12 range. But for whatever reason, this one was more desirable and had the $30 sale. Then we had Fort Bend County, Richmond, Texas, Pictorial, the Sesquicentennial from 1985. Fort Bend County is local to here. It's like southwest Houston, like Sugarland area. So very close to here. So that made sense that I would find that one nearby. This is one that I got for free. The Jane, who owns the little thrift store by the high school, sometimes she'll have stuff that she doesn't know what to do with, doesn't know how to price it, doesn't know whether to sell, and she'll just say, hey, you want this? So this was one of those that I just got for free from her. It was a close to my heart acrylics lot, 14 various holidays and themes, $30. So that's pretty good for a freebie. And then a 1956 copy of Seven Simpsons on 6 Bikes, sold for $31.50. And then a 1909 copy of Pansy Blossoms, tiny little book about that big, had some vellum paper, is that what you call it? The real thin one to cover the different pictures. 1909, $32 on that one. Then I sold a backpack by Duluth Trading Company, sold for $35. I knew Duluth Trading Company is a good brand, so I saw a backpack by them. I knew that one would probably sell. Then we had a book called Eduardo Catalano, Buildings and Projects, sold for $35. And Isidore of Seville's Etymologies, the Complete English, Volume 1, sold for $35. Where are we at next? Oh, some plates. This was a Pottery Barn, Tropical Parrots, Plates, Toucans, Cockatoos, $40. So Pottery Barn stuff sells pretty well, which surprises me. Typically if I'm in Goodwill and I see the knickknacks and the vases and the things like that, and you look on the bottom and so many of them say Ross, or they're bought at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. I don't even look them up. Do you guys? Is there anything? Should I be? Is it possible that Ross, Marshall, TJ Maxx, that kind of a store, would sell something that had value now? I kind of doubt it, so I haven't been looking those up. Maybe I should. But Pottery Barn is, I guess, a little bit better. It is a higher quality, so Pottery Barn stuff does sell. So if you see that kind of stuff, I do always look those up. And then the next one was the one book, I've talked about it before. This was a copy of Black Reconstruction America from 1956. And originally I thought this was a 1936 edition, like an original edition, because it has no additional copyright date. It doesn't say that it's reprinted in 1956. And if you don't have the original to compare it to, you wouldn't know. But some very kind people online kind of educated me about it. I'd actually sold it for like $350. And when the buyer got it, he was very nice. He said, hey, this is not the 1936 copy. It's a 1956 reprint. So I obviously refunded the money. He sent the book back and I put it up. Now, it has value. It sold for $50 as a 1956 copy. But, and it was pretty damaged. It was signed by a couple different people who were civil rights activists, which was kind of cool. And but it was a tricky one to try to figure out what the original one looks like. So if you ever see a copy of Black Reconstruction in America, and it says 1930, I think it's 36, just beware. Do additional research, try to figure out if that actually is that very valuable book or just a moderately valuable one from the 50s. Next, we had this one, Dean Martin, a 3 CD and 1 DVD compilation box set. $50 on that one for old Dean Martin. Then a Cricut loom, 10-inch Cricut loom in original packaging. sold for $55. This thing was the cheapest thing I've ever seen. I was surprised that it sold for that much. It was like 10 inches, you know, a little about rectangle shape, had different pieces in there. I'm not big into weaving, so I don't really know what all the pieces are called. But it just looked like something you'd pick up at the dollar store. And when I scanned it and was seeing what comps were, I was really surprised. And it sold for 55 bucks. Here's one that I picked up. This was at the Goodwill bins. This was a Honeywell fire alarm and security keypad. It sold for $80. So I just saw it sitting there in a box, and you look at it up, and something like that. I have no way of testing it, but you know, it looked new in package, you know, as far as I could tell. So if it didn't work, and I was going to have to just believe the buyer and be prepared to refund it, but I got positive feedback. I think I did on it, and didn't have any problems with the sale. All right. Next, we have a lot of CDs. These are Amazing Design Embroidery Solution CDs, 24 of them, sold for $100. 17 of them were new. 7 of them were just very good condition. So this is the little thrift store by the high school. Had a whole bunch of these. They had them for 2 for $1, I believe they had them at. And did DVDs on sewing. They saw a lot of Sewing with Nancy. These are all called Amazing Designs, and they didn't have as much value individually, so that's why I allotted them up and put 24 of them together. Got about, what is that, almost $5 a piece for them. So $100 for those. All right, this next sale was a big sale. You can see the title of this just says dishes. That's because originally I had so I had listed all of them separately, like the plates and the salad plates and the cups and saucers and all that, everything listed out separately. And a buyer came in and said, hey, I'm actually interested in all of them. What would you sell them for? So I think I added everything up, and it was like $550 or so for everything. And I said, how about $450? And she said, yep, that sounds great. So $450. I got these at the SPCA thrift store down in Freeport. I paid $35 for them, I believe. And so it sold them for $450. These were, I was trying to remember what they were. I was trying to find the old pictures. I think they were Wedgwood. I could be wrong on that, but they were older, definitely older. And yeah, they were really nice. There's a lot of them. You can see that picture. That's just the dinner plates. I can't remember how many there were, but it was a large set of Wedgwood dishware. I did have to refund her a little bit because some of them did break in shipping. I haven't had that issue lately, but I'm getting better at packaging dishes. But some of those did break, so I did have to refund her. But just so you know the value, if you're better at shipping than I am, $450 on that one. Now, the next one, and that wasn't the big, well, they're both a big sale. So I also sold another set. Now get this, this was just 6 Christmas dishes. Johnson Brothers, Old Britain Castles, Green Christmas Tree dinner plates. 6 plates. $450. Got these at the good old stinking regular Goodwill in Lake Jackson for $2 a piece, and sold over $450. So there are a lot of plates with this design on it, this Christmas tree design. Some have red trees, some have green trees, and apparently, what did I have? The green trees are more valuable. And make sure they're Johnson Brothers. There's other companies that make ones that look with the same design. But if you find Johnson Brothers, Old Britain Castles, Green Christmas Tree dinner plates, those are the ones to find. So every time I go to the Goodwill, I'm looking for more of those. But that was a really fun find. So that concludes today's video. That was a total of 51 sales for $2,151, which brings us to a combined, because so many of those were not a book, so it's kind of a half and half. No, It was 18 not books, 33 books, but combined total average of $42.17 average, which ain't not bad, you know? And so that actually, I was going to say my 90-day total, just so y'all know about the level I'm at, is at the highest it's ever been. My sales recently have been really good last couple of weeks. So right now, my 90-day total is sitting at $9,939. It would be really cool to get that to 10,000. But just so you know, kind of, go thrifting in Houston once a week and then hit the local things. List a few things a night, ship a few things each day. And yeah, so it's possible to make some pretty good money to save for vacations like I do, or whatever you need to do. But I put in quite a bit of time, I guess, on this, but it's fun. I mean, I sit here, I got the football game on. I packed up. I had 16 items that are going out tomorrow. That's from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, that's an average of 4 a day. Usually average of 2 a day is good for me. But, I just sat here and watched the football game and packaged stuff up. So it's not like it's a big time commitment otherwise. I don't have little kids in the house. My daughter hasn't been here all day. She's so busy. And, my wife and I hung out and we did some things. We eat together and do other things together. But for the most part, I don't have, a lot. I mowed today. So I do take care of my household responsibilities. Thank you very much. But, it's kind of fun for me. And I'll sit on the sofa, either watching a game. And I'll, after I record this, I'll probably go do that and take the snapshots of all the items. So it's not that big a deal. It's kind of fun. It's a hobby. And it's a hobby that's paying pretty well right now. So anyhow, I hope things are going well for you. I hope you're selling the heck out of a bunch of stuff if that's what you're into. And thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this video and talking about it and commenting and all those kinds of things. And I will see you on Thursday for a haul video. And yeah, so I hope to see you sooner rather than later. Adios.